So you are interested in competing in your first bodybuilding competition, but you don't know where to start. So we're going to go over some points and considerations that can help you make the decisions that you need to step on stage. All right, so I'm going to explain this as simply as I can. I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible. There's a lot of things to consider. I do have some notes in front of me, so you're going to see me looking down. I'm looking at my notes so I don't miss anything. Everything that I'm saying is Googleable. So you're going to have to do your further research. So get a pencil and paper and write down some bullet points so that after the video you can go and Google and search further. There are some websites that you're going to need to go on and read the fine print and get your research done after you make a decision of what it is that you want to do, what division you want to compete in, what federation, etc. So you're interested in competing, and that means that you want to embark on a journey of discipline. So I'm proud of you. Good job. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but you won't regret it. You don't have to regret it if you plan properly. So bodybuilding competition, it can be it can be very expensive, but it doesn't have to be, again, if you plan appropriately and if you do it without rushing. A lot of people get excited and they end up spending a whole bunch of money that they didn't have to spend. And it depends on the type of experience that you want to have. Do you want to have a good experience for your first competition? Do you want to spend all that money or do you want to save money? Depends on what it is that you value. And I will go ahead and insert some pointers from my own experience after competing in my first competition too. Hopefully that will help you out. If you don't know, my name is Tia Anna, and welcome to my YouTube page. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and I hope you return for future videos. So let's talk about bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is a business. It is a subsector of fitness. So considering it's a business, bodybuilding competitions are not free, if you didn't know. There's a lot of costs associated with it, and this can entail gym membership, a coach or personal trainer, posing lessons, glam when you get there. That's going to include bikini, tanning, which is required, by the way, when you get on stage, your hair, nails, just glam, makeup, the whole nine, jewelry, and heels, if you do wear heels, and federation membership. So again, it's not free. You're going to have to pay for membership, which depending on the federation, that charge can be for yearly or 2 years. The membership cost does not include the fee for the show. Okay, so say you pay for a membership that lasts for a year, you can compete in the shows that are put on for the entire year, but each show has a cost. So that membership is going to allow you to compete in whatever shows they put on, which is put on by different promoters. Different promoters have different costs. The costs differ based on the federation. What's a federation? Federation is the entity that facilitates separate shows. So there are a whole bunch of different federations. You can go on Google and look it up, but these federations will fall into the category of natural versus enhanced. So natural means no steroids and enhanced means steroids used. Some athletes use steroids. People in fitness, they call themselves athletes. Bodybuilding is considered a sport. That's debatable. Some people don't think it's a sport because you're getting on stage and you're posing in bikini, showing off the hard work that you have done in the past couple months or years. However, there are subsectors, there are divisions within bodybuilding based on federation that is actually a sport. I think that division is called fitness. Excuse me. I know that Mr. America has that section where they get on stage and not only do they pose, but they do acrobatic things. I think you would consider that a sport. So what's bodybuilding anyway? What happens at these shows? Women and men get up on stage, have on their bikini based on rules are set by the federation, and they pose with other competitors that are there. There's a possibility that based on the federation that you applied, there are times where you may be the only competitor in your category. That depends on the federation that you go to. Some of the smaller federations, they don't really have that much exposure. Say you're in the fitness business, you want to become a promoter, you put on your first show, you may not have that much attendees. So you're giving out awards to not a lot of people. So that's okay too. And depends on where you are in the United States. Different countries host different shows also. But it depends on, again, the federation that you are competing in. One of the most popular is OCB, and they host natural shows. And then you have NPC, which is the big leagues, federation that has shows with enhanced athletes. They also have natural shows too. So if you've never taken any substance, you can compete with enhanced athletes as well. It just is more competition. And this is a part of fitness industry. They argue, oh, it's not, some people may think it's unfair. It's unfair for natural to compete with enhanced because they don't stand a chance. But then you have the natural athletes that work very hard, where their nutrition is on point, where they can actually compete with an athlete who is enhanced. All right, so we spoke about federation. One of the costs associated with competing is coaching. You can decide, all right, I want to compete. I'm going to go on a diet for 12 weeks to 20 weeks. So standard dieting is between 12 to 26 weeks. But for people who don't really know much about bodybuilding, they may think, oh, I want to compete, so I'm just going to go on this diet, and at the end of the 26 weeks, I'll be ready to go on stage. Not really. It depends on your starting weight. So the whole point of this is to drop body fat and to reveal the muscle beneath. When you get on stage, the leaner you are, the more competitive you are. This will all depend on the category. That's going to depend on the federation. But by standard, you have fit model. That's a new category in NPC. I don't think that OCB has fit model. Last time I compete, they didn't have that. You're going to have to go on the website to check it out. Bikini, wellness, figure, physique, bodybuilding. So bikini is usually smallest, the skinniest girls. Women where the legs and their glutes are dominant. So there's an imbalance. The lower body is the dominant part. Then you have figure, which is what I competed in with the shoulders, where the X frame, but the shoulder, the upper body is more dominant and the back is more dominant. You have physique, which is balanced throughout, but they're more leaner. They're leaner than everyone. When we say lean, we mean you see more muscle, less body fat. And then the bodybuilders are like really muscular women, and they're bigger. A lot of people don't like that. It's too lean. There's not a lot of federations that still has bodybuilding. You don't really like that look. I do. Shoot. I wish. But I'm gonna talk about OCB because that's what I competed in. They do have teen categories. You have to go on the website to check it out. So I would Google Natural Federation. I will start with OCB because it's the biggest one. It's fun. They're always fun. They are very nice. You'll have a good experience. From what I've heard with most OCB shows, and I've been as a spectator at shows also. I also would recommend that you go to a show. If you've never been to a show, go to a show, not as a competitor, as a spectator, so you can see, because you may think you want to compete in this division, but then you go and you see, oh, I like how this models look. You don't know what your body's going to look like after you lose weight. So a lot of times you think you have big legs. Like when I started, I thought that I would get into wellness, but then when I started losing weight, my legs got so slim, and I said, oh, look at that. I'm naturally broad at the top because I naturally have that Johnny Bravo shape anyway. So when you lose weight, don't worry about the division, especially if you have a coach. They will tell you that. You lose weight, and then you start seeing which category your body falls better into. Okay? Coaching. Do you need a coach? If you've never done this, why wouldn't you get a coach? I am not anti-coach. However, if you are the type of person that likes to do research, you like to read, you like to do everything by yourself, you have the time to research, trial and error, I would say go for it. Again, it's a business. They're not going to encourage you to do that.
Once upon a time,